Good day, colleagues. I am recording this presentation to you from New York, where I am shivering in the cold. Actually, I'm not really shivering because, as you can see in this picture, which was taken a few days ago, I'm pretty well clothed, tucked up, stuffed up like a Christmas turkey, and I'm trying to keep warm. Some days were actually very, very cold and made me think so much about the Caribbean. So on this Christmas Eve, I want to wish you all a holy Caribbean Christmas and a blessed and bright and successful New Year. And my commitment to you in the coming year, in the coming 3 to 5 months of the new year, and for those of you who may be unfortunate to have to come back in August, maybe another 8 months, that we will work together to make this a reality for you. That is, especially in relation to the law of remedies, a blessed and bright and successful new year. That is my wish for you. So as I was thinking about, as I was dealing with the cold and my mind was going back to the Caribbean, I thought that there were several really rich blessings that we have as Caribbean people that very often we don't pay too much attention to. And as lawyers, we need to really dig into ourselves and see what our strengths are, not in terms of our intellect only, but in terms of what makes us, what creates us, and what gives us an identity that we can work with and we can use to develop ourselves and our region. So I was thinking that being a Caribbean person is really an asset. It is an asset to develop ourselves. So as we ponder on this season and we look towards your May exams, we should draw on our strengths as Caribbean people, one of which, as I have said before, is our Caribbean identity. So I'm drawing from images of the Caribbean taken from the internet, which illustrate this reality, and I put my own thoughts on those pictures, my own interpretation. As you progress through your law school journey, one of the best investments you can make is to develop relationships with your colleagues from across the region by, of course, first of all, identifying that Caribbeanness inside of us and the different strengths and characteristics and attributes that make us what we are. It comes into play in terms of how we sustain ourselves in practice, and maybe you may not be able to appreciate it now, what I'm saying, but hopefully when you actually get into practice and you have to draw and dig deep within yourself for the resources that you need to be successful, you will find that I am saying, speaking a truth. So, a Caribbean Christmas. My blessing to you is, with the bounty of this season, satisfy all your material and spiritual needs, and may God's richest blessings go beyond your needs to those things you wish for yourself, all those things that are good. And because I'm a person who loves to eat, you can see exactly what I'm thinking about. So I'm going to go through some of the pictures and images of the Caribbean, and I start from the southern Caribbean, moving my way upwards. And so we go to our brothers and sisters in Guyana. And as a Caribbean people, we are diverse, powerful, and majestic when we live up to our true potential. And this is a picture of the Kaieteur Falls. It's not my picture, as I said, but you can see the majesty and awe and grandeur that we have in the Caribbean, which is part of ourselves. And of course, we have the diversity of the culture of the Guyana, with the Native Americans, Indians. We have all kinds of influences in Guyana, European, African, Chinese, Portuguese, a lot of Portuguese, and you have, and of course, as I said, African before. So Trinidad and Tobago, and what do we love about what do I love about Trinidad and Tobago? And one of the things is at Christmas time the paranderos, who demonstrate the diversity and integration of our Caribbean people. So the parang It's sung in Spanish. It is based in some villages which were French and sung by Africans, Indians, Chinese, and our own French Creole. A beautiful range and mix of people that makes us a wonderful creation. Grenada. Well, where else will you see Santa climbing a Christmas tree that have in a country that has no snow, except in the Caribbean? We are an imaginative and fun-loving people. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now you notice that many of these things you can see anywhere in the Caribbean, which really shows how united we are, how integrated we are, and we just don't realize it. Except when, and then we try to create all kinds of divisions among ourselves, when truly everything is everything with us. So in this picture I looked and I said, the height of the Mokojambis helps with perspective and objectivity, which are indispensable characteristics for critical analysis and problem solving. So as lawyers, we need to take ourselves above the fray. We need to see ourselves away from the action, which is why when I asked you to review your work, you need to, when you write something, when you do some work, you need to just put it aside and leave it alone, and then come back and pretend it's not yours and have objective criteria by which you want to criticize it. And that gives you that objective critical analysis that you need to have as good lawyers. St. Lucia. Well, look at the peaceful, serene atmosphere created by this in the shadow of the Piton, which may be extinct at this time, but maybe it can explode at any time. Are we that kind of people? Quiet, but have an underlying strength of character. Sometimes you don't recognize it, but I do. Dominica. And these children of Dominica are, and all our children are our future. What we do, is never about us, but about our clients, our society, the future of our people, our nation, and our region. So I want us to think about, when you think about law, when you think about remedies especially, that when you advise your clients, when you think about your role as a lawyer, it is never about you. It is always about serving others. And when you think about that, you will get a better sense of what being a lawyer is, and that sense of professionalism will arise and you will develop and you will grow in you, and will help you to be a really excellent lawyer. Barbados. Well, look at this. How do you get a Santa Claus made out of sand on a beach? So we are always adapting to varying circumstances in a global village, which requires nimbleness and agility, and I would also say innovation and creativity, which I'll be coming to in a while. So these are some of the characteristics that we have inherently in us as Caribbean people. Let us love it and let us build on it. St. Kitts Nevis. We are a celebratory people. We know how to relieve stress. We know how to party. We know how to enjoy ourselves. And for those of you who know me, I love to party. Okay? So, but what I have learned with all of that is that enjoyment and relaxation leads to a relaxed mind, which is more absorbent, it is more responsive, and it is extremely creative. And so again, these are things that can all be brought into our discussion as Caribbean people. Antigua. And I believe this is the last in the series of my journey through the countries that in the Caribbean that I'm going through. And look at the majesty and beauty and peace and serenity as well in this image. So I want to wish you, all of you, and I've only taken those countries that are zoned to the Hewing Law School. If I had to do the entire Caribbean, well, of course, you'd probably turn off the video by this time if you haven't done so as yet. But so this is just a selection, a cross section of the Caribbean, and I want us to just, and it is done to help you to realize that we as a Caribbean people are beautiful. We have so many assets that can help us to develop not only in our region but internationally. And my hope for you and my wish for you this Christmas and this New Year is that you will think about yourselves as Caribbean people, as a global people, and that you set standards for yourself that will reflect the best of all of us. Wishing everyone and your families, your loved ones, and all those that you love and who love you a blessed and holy Christmas and a very prosperous and happy New Year. Thank you.